What is up, everybody? J-Fon's really here, and I'm back with another Cyberpunk 2077 video. This time, more questions are answered, and this not coming from CD Projekt Red themselves, but actually, this coming from GameSpot, more specifically, coming from host and senior video producer Lucy James. Well, she had the chance to sit down and speak with Jean-Luc Sepke, a Cyberpunk lore master, and Jake Decker, somebody who's been able to play quite a bit of this game. We're a little less than a month away from the game, and there's still a lot of questions to be answered. And some of those questions were answered here, like this one.
Will we be able to purchase different houses or apartments like the new Diner trailer hints at? A little bit of GTA flavor in there, I guess. And Jeremy Garcia with the follow-up, do you swap everything from your home base, including like clothing, weapons, or is it like Metal Gear style where you have access to all your weapons and gear?
So I'll start with the house question, and from what we've heard, it sounds like you'll be able to get different apartments, different houses. However, we aren't entirely sure how you get them, whether or not that's through purchasing them with eddies, which is the currency in Cyberpunk, or if you get them by completing missions or maybe progressing through the story, similar to like GTA 5, how you'd get better houses for certain characters the more you progress through the story. And then as for the weapon switching sort of deal, so it seems like it's going to be a bit of both. Like you'll have an armory in your house that you can go in and equip from, but if you find different weapons as you're exploring or different clothing and whatnot, you should just be able to open your inventory just like The Witcher 3 and swap things out right there.
So you heard that right. You will be able to get new apartments and housing within the game. The further you progress, of course, you can get bigger and better housing. And of course, he follows that up with the question on the weapons. And yes, you will have an armory at your house, as he says, and you'll be able to pick up guns, of course, along the way as you progress through each mission. So nothing really new here when it comes to weapon swapping. We pretty much knew we'll be able to pick up guns along the way when we're, going through the game. And of course, we've seen the armory in our apartments, and we know we'll be able to get guns out of that. It's just good to know about the housing. You'll be able to get bigger and better houses as you progress. That should add an element of fun to the game as well. You guys let me know down below, how do you feel about getting houses and being able to upgrade in that department in a game like this? I think it's pretty cool. You let me know what you think down below.
Andrew Valentin with, how does the driving feel and how does the melee combat feel? I heard those were the only two complaints about gameplay during demos.
So I did a fair bit of driving when I played it, and I thought the driving was pretty good. It's nothing to write home about, I would say. It's not as in-depth as something like, Forza or something like that, but it seems like it works pretty well. I drove a wide range of cars, some controlled better than others. For example, I took a minivan, and that controlled like crap, as it should, while V's Quadra 4, I believe is what it's called, handled pretty well. Like it all seemed pretty good to me.
I had to pause the video right here just to say that yes, of course, a minivan or some kind of cheaper car might ride a bit worse than something like a Quadra or something more high-end within the game. CD Projekt Red has already told us this was going to be the case. And what I've heard from other people who've played the game as well is that the driving is very satisfactory. And as Mr. Decker says here, don't expect it to be like a racing game. You just won't have the same physics and mechanics as something like that, but you will get the same kind of feel as, say, a GTA-style game. And that's just fine to me in a big open-world RPG like this.
As for the melee combat, that definitely seems like the weaker point from my experience. It felt a little floaty. It didn't always feel like you were connecting with enemies. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Skyrim's melee combat, and that it just seems like you're kind of swinging at air, and occasionally it'll hit, and you'll notice some damage from that. But that being said, it's something that CD Projekt Red knows about, so that could change when the game comes out. But based on what I'd play, I'd say the melee combat was probably the weakest point.
And I guess it's worth saying you did play the game a good few months before release.
Correct, yeah, I played it back in June or July, I believe, so it's very possible that things have changed.
Now if there's one thing that gamers have been talking negatively on regarding this game, it has to be the melee combat. And yeah, I agree, the melee combat does not look great. However, I've said it before and I'll say it again. What melee combat in a first-person RPG game has been amazing? In my opinion, there just isn't really any amazing melee combat in games like this. But that said, he did mention that they could change it by the time this game launches, or at least tweak it a bit to make it feel a bit better. Again, the main focus in this game are the weapons, so I really don't put too much thought into the melee combat. I'm not going to run around and punch people, really. I mean, if I have to, I have to. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to build a character around the melee combat there. So it's really a non-issue for me, but I agree. They could make it look and feel a bit better. Now, I'm not going to play the video in its entirety. I will have a link in the description below so you can watch it all at your leisure, enjoy it. There's some goodies in there, but here I just wanted to focus on a few of these questions, especially the ones that are constantly asked in the comment sections of my channel. Questions like this one here.
Grey Cat asks, when are the Series S/X and PS5 optimization patches coming? New console launches, new game launch, no optimized support for the new consoles.
So unfortunately, they have not said when they're coming. We don't really have a clear date. They haven't even said if it's coming out this year or if it's going to be coming early 2021. I imagine they'll want to have it come out fairly soon. As far as what those could be, they also haven't really been saying, but I would assume we would hopefully get some ray tracing updates for it as well, since the PC version is going to have that. Maybe a setting that'll offer a higher frame rate, but you can still play the games at least on your shiny new Xbox Series X/S and PS5. It just won't have any of those, new bells and whistles at launch. But I mean, you're going to play the game multiple times, so it's fine.
I don't know how many times this question has been asked of me. I have no idea. He has no idea. Nobody knows yet when these patches will come out for next generation consoles. But mark my words, when I do find out, I will let you guys know. And while we're on that topic, I'm personally not going to be waiting for that next gen patch to start this game. I'm going to play at least one playthrough before that next gen patch comes out. And then when that drops, I will play my second playthrough. If I'm done with the first, I just can't do it. I can't wait for the patch. If you can, you are a better man or woman than I am. Let me know down below if you're waiting for the patch or you're going to jump in day one and do what I'm doing. Second playthrough with that patch.
Mr. Anthony asks, can we explore the whole map immediately or are certain districts locked off at first?
So when I played, from what I could tell, it seemed like you could explore Night City as you please. However, there are some areas that are more dangerous than others. So just because you can enter a certain neighborhood doesn't mean you'll survive. There could be higher level enemies, you could just not be prepared and you could end up dead very quickly. But from what I saw and when I messed around, there were no areas that I was blocked from. Now, it may be a little different if you're trying to get outside of Night City and explore the Badlands. Now, if you pick the Nomad path right at the beginning, you'll start in the Badlands, but I don't know if you can just head out of Night City and explore that right away.
So it sounds like we'll be able to explore Night City in its entirety right from jump. But as Mr. Decker says, there are those areas that are worse than others, and it could be really dangerous for a low-level character. So you may want to watch out where you go, what you visit, and when. I mean, this is an RPG, folks. Take your time. There's no reason to rush it. There's no reason to go everywhere at once. But hey, the option's there. With that said, folks, I want to take this time to tell you that I really appreciate each and every one of you for supporting me along the way. You guys just don't understand how much you mean to me, how much all your support has really helped me out personally. I really appreciate everything you guys have done, from sharing my videos to just liking them, subbing to this channel. You guys really just rock. I mean, really, 2020 has been such a bad year, not just for me, but for everybody. It's been really rough, and hopefully Cyberpunk 2077 can alleviate some of that stress in less than 4 weeks. In less than a month away, folks, we are going to have this game in our hands. It's going to be really, really exciting, and I can't wait to share this game with you guys. Definitely want to share my experiences with the game, and I definitely want you guys to share your experiences with me. With that said, folks, thanks for watching, and until next time, try to be the best possible you, be kind to one another, and of course, as always, game on.
the fuck up.